Number one thing is that if you are in Harvard, your benchmark is on Thursday. If you are in Yale, then your benchmark is on Friday. So be ready. Remember to study your homework. Remember to try your best on all of the videos that we do this week, because there is review on stuff that's going to be on your benchmark. And the lessons that we do this week are also going to be on your benchmark. Second thing is mad props to everybody who took the Do Now quiz on Friday, because 91% of the people who took that quiz on Friday scored basic or above. 91%. That is awesome. That's what I want to see on the benchmark. I think we can absolutely do it. So there are 3 things for us to do today. All of these things are on your benchmark, so make sure you know them. The first one is we're going to talk about the difference between goods and services. Second one is we're going to talk about different types of resources. And the last, it's going to be the types of businesses. So you see there are lots of different topics today, and you just stay with me. While you are going through this, make sure you're filling in the notes on the back of your Do Now. It's really short, but they are super, super important. Let's go. So first, we've got goods and services. So I want you to pause for a second and write down these definitions on your paper. So goods are physical, real things. You can hold a good, you can touch it, you can buy it. It's something that you can pick up in your hands, or you can physically have. For example, a chair. Chair is the perfect example of what a good is. You can touch a chair, you can sit in a chair. It's something that you buy that's a physical object. That's a good. Now contrast a chair with a service. The service are things that people do for people. They're actions. So a service is something that somebody is doing for you, such as a haircut, right? When you get a haircut, there's nothing you can physically hold, right? You're not getting anything, but somebody is doing something for you, and that's a service. So let's look at these different examples. Let's see if you can figure out if they're a good or a service. So first, a car. Right, a car is a good. A car is something physical. It's not something that somebody did for you. It's something that you have. Car wash. Right, a car wash, somebody did it for you. You can't touch a car wash. You can't hold a car wash, but you paid for it and somebody did it. Now try these. Awesome. Let's move on. Part 2. Oh, actually, before part 2, this is my favorite. Why would food at a restaurant be both a good and a service? So go to that bit.ly and answer that question. Try to do it real quick, because remember, you have 2 more topics to get through today. There's your food at a restaurant. Part 2, topic number 2, are types of resources. 3 things go into any company. The first are called natural resources. These are land, natural things, oil, minerals, water, air. Anything like that is a natural resource. So if you look like this farmer guy down here, he's my example. The land is the natural resource that he's using to produce his food. Second type of resource, make sure you're writing these down in your notes. Second type of resource are human resources, also called labor. Those are the people who work at a company, or the people who work to produce something. That's the farmer guy. He's the labor. He's the human resource. Third are capital resources. Capital resources are buildings, tools, computers, machines, roads, bridges. They're the things that you buy that you use to help you produce. So, for example, in this case, it's the tractor. If you're talking about a factory, then you have the machines at the factory, you have the building at the factory. Those are all capital resources. So try some of these and see if you can get them right. First one, natural, human, or capital. This is gold. Remember, gold you have to mine out of the ground. Right, it's a capital resource. Comes out of the ground. It's natural. It's a natural resource. My bad. It comes out of the ground. It's something natural that comes from the earth. Second, Right. Any factory, any refinery, anything that humans built, that's a capital resource. Capital. We're talking about these people right here. Right. Those people are human resources. The people who work at a company, the people who have the knowledge and skills to make that company good, those are human resources. Last one. Exactly. Computers, you buy, it's something that humans built. It's something else that you're using to make your company better. It's a capital resource. So think about what resources go into making a chair. What resources go into making spaghetti? All right. So here's an example of a company. This is more like some of the questions that'll show up when you're benchmarking on the Leap, a little more complicated. So you've got Shell Oil, one of the largest companies in the world. It's currently worth over $200 billion. Shell's operations include extracting oil out of the Gulf of Mexico near New Orleans. They have offices in New Orleans, but most of their money comes from the huge oil platforms that pump oil out from below the water. Shell hires thousands of petroleum engineers from Louisiana who need to have a 4-year college degree. What's the capital resource? What's the human resource? And what's the natural resource? Now, moving on to part 3. Make sure as each of these come up, you're taking your notes. These are different types of businesses. The first one is called a sole proprietorship. Repeat that after me because it's kind of hard. Sole proprietorship. Sole proprietorship. In a sole proprietorship, you own the business. Sole means one, so that one is you. It's the one person who owns the whole business. You have complete control, and you either make, or in worst case, you lose all the money. So you can make huge profits and it all goes to yourself with a sole proprietorship. But if your business goes down, then you're the one who's losing all of the money. Think about why that could be an advantage. What about this could be a disadvantage? Second type of business is a partnership. And a partnership is like a sole proprietorship, but you're sharing it with some other people. So maybe you and your 2 friends want to come in and make a business together. You guys share ownership of the others. You share control. And if you make money, you have to divide that money up. Or if you lose money, then you have to divide those losses up. So think about how that could be an advantage or a disadvantage. Next one. Last one is called a corporation. And in this case, stockholders, which are other people, those are people who bought part of your company. They own the company. You might have some control, you might not if they make you leave. But all the money stays with the company, so you're not making money as the company makes money. But on the other hand, if it goes bankrupt, you don't lose anything because you don't own the company anymore. So think about why that could be advantage, why it could be a disadvantage. And then last but not least, let's do some review. Now that you are finished, you can get started on your homework. Yes, it's long, but remember, if you're in Harvard, benchmark on Thursday. If you're in Yale, benchmark on Friday. Study hard.